It is the first nice day in a long time, and I was just daydreaming about what to do with this sunshine. And for the past like couple weeks, I've been drawing out on like graph paper my entire property and figuring out where the garden beds are, where the grass is, and like chicken coop and the run and like the whole thing and kind of mapping it out and trying to come up with a plan to utilize this section of my yard behind me. There's this triangle here of grass, which is it's deceiving how sloped it is actually. You don't really notice it until you're riding a lawnmower, pushing a lawnmower across it, and then you can nearly slip and die and lose your toe, which is what I almost did the other day because I was mowing the lawn in Birkenstocks. Would not recommend, folks. My favorite part of the yard and the part that I really want to maintain is this front portion, like basically from this garden bed edge pushing all the way back to kind of where my driveway is. Don't mind the giant excavator stuff going on behind me. And so I have been working really hard. I aerated the lawn this year, and then I thatched the lawn, and then I came back and fertilized it, and I planted grass seed. So I've done a lot of work to kind of like bring my yard back to par. And I haven't mowed it because I fertilized it just a couple days ago, so I was kind of letting it do its thing before I mow. So that's why it looks a little patchy, but this section actually is a really beautiful section of lawn. However, as you move this way down my property, it starts to slope and go down the hill, and it gets more and more shaded back by this wall over here where there's giant trees. And so I have been I planted grass seed in this whole area. You can see it's really starting to come in really good in some parts and not so great in others. I've planted grass seed twice, fertilized it, aerated, thatched, the whole thing. And other parts are coming in really nice. And I just don't need this much lawn. And I want to put in 2 more raised garden beds, like another tier down. So it'll be like 1, 2, and 3 tier. They kind of tier naturally because of the slope of the yard as it comes down. And then I have my grandfather's memorial tree, which is planted down here. And I kind of just plopped it in that spot. And I really love it there. But I was thinking, why not just have garden bed around it? Like, why waste my time going down to mow around that circle? So then I was thinking, well, I have like kind of half moon shape of rocks over there on the garden bed. What if I just flipped the half moon and made it a curve on this side, and then it kind of came around and reconnected to the rock wall garden bed over here? Then I just have much more planting space. The grass isn't growing super well over there anyway, and it's just less work and less of Emma having to mow on a steep slope. So I thought, since it's a lovely day out today and I have a whole bunch of cardboard that I need to take to the recycle center, why not just not take it to the recycle center and use it for a project instead? So I'm going to go grab a whole bunch of cardboard from the garage. We're going to line out the area that we want. And then I'm going to take all those rocks that I've spent tons of time lining out, and I'm going to flip them and line another garden bed. And then this entire lower section will be garden bed. So the grass slopey area isn't entirely resolved, but the bottom part, kind of at the base of the slope, will be resolved by garden beds. And I just want to plant more stuff. Like, that's what it really boils down to. I don't want to mow more lawn. I want to plant more stuff. So let's go get some cardboard and get started with this project. This one's a little shiny, so I might not use that. I'll use the best cardboard first. See how far that gets us. And I'll try my very best to remove tape. But if there's a little left on, so be it. I don't know if you can see this line because I just drove with the knife, but it kind of starts here. It'll kind of naturally curve down, wrap up, form this nice sweet little circle around my grandpa's memorial tree. Now clearly I need more cardboard, but that's fine because I can come back to that. I can go get more cardboard and lay this out. But what I can do right now is I can get the rocks and lay the rock line out so I can get a good visual. I think I'll like that. Let's do that. I like this curve. I think this just needs to be like a little bit further bumped out. So I love it. It's literally perfect. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. Ah! Just to kind of walk you through here. So this is the rock wall that slopes off into this giant middle garden bed area. So it'll come out, I'll scrape off some of that dirt and moss that's growing on this rock, big boulder right here. So it'll be like a nice line because that's like basically where the edge of that boulder is. And then it curves around Grandpa's tree. And then it makes this nice swooping S shape all the way around, falls into the garden bed. I went to our local garden center the other day. Well, not really garden center, it's just this lady who runs a garden business out of her house. I went there and I looked at a bunch of varieties of plum, pear, and apple trees. And I thought that would be so fun to plop in a bunch of those here. So in that spot, like that curved area over there, the shade garden, I'm going to plop in some type of tree, some type of fruit tree right there. And then I might add 2 or 3 more down here and just kind of make this like a trailing orchard all the way down to Grandpa's memorial tree. So this will end up being much more shaded eventually once this tree grows up to its full size. I really think this tree is beautiful. Okay, so I need to go get some more cardboard to fill in this whole space. It's going to take a decent amount. And then my mulching that I did, I was just dumping wheelbarrows and wheelbarrows and wheelbarrows of mulch all along this bed. So the actual line where the mulch is has probably like 6 to 8 inches high and even higher in some parts of mulch. So I'm going to just get my garden rake out and I'm going to rake back a bunch of it and see if I can get it to fill this whole area. If not, I can go grab some more mulch. But first, let's go grab from the recycle center some more cardboard to fill this spot. Ah, this is just filling me up with joy today, you guys. That should be plenty of cardboard. Doesn't need to be perfect, honestly, because there was really little to no grass growing there at all. So it's done. Now to just pull mulch out from around it, scrape it back, see how much we can fill in, and then cover the rest. Good morning. We're back at it. I took a few days off. I had some friends in town visiting, my friend Morgan from college and her mom. And while they were here, we actually went and collected some mulch, aka bark and bits of wood, from the forest that a tree had fallen and there was just a pile of it. So we gathered up a bunch of buckets and brought it over here. And so I've started to kind of fill this in after I added all the cardboard, which you just saw. And then we went to the hardware store and they had 50% off a bunch of random plants that they had. And so I picked up some of those and I kind of plopped them in here. And as I started to place them, I realized that there's a hardy geranium that we planted and a peony that I planted that will need to be moved forward based off of the size of the shrubs and everything. But I want to show you guys what it looks like so far. Okay, so this is a new section of mulch bark mixture. And then we got this whole section covered. So you can see there's this bit that needs to be covered and this kind of like weird shaped one. And then just to go over some of the plants that I picked up. So this is a coral bell, Carnival Cocomint coral bell. It's a beautiful hardy perennial. I just love heucheras and coral bells. I think the foliage is so pretty and they do technically have little bloom stalks, but I think the leaves are really where it's at. I mean, just like the variation and how the veins pop out and the slight different colors that they have when they're, smaller versus larger. It's just so pretty. Then I've always wanted one of these because I just think the flowers are incredible. A rose of Sharon. And so it says red pillar because it literally just grows like straight up in a really tight shape. So let's see the stats here. Zones 5 through 9, we're a zone 7. And 10 to 16 feet tall, 2 to 3 feet wide. So it's literally just going to be this tight little pillar of blooms and greenery. And I think that'll be really pretty. Then over here, I've got some different purple color. I love purple heucheras. I just think they're so pretty. And so I found these 3 and I thought we could kind of put them together in a trio. So this is 2 of the Palace Purple Heuchera, and this is a Gold Ray Pandora. So all hardy perennials, deep reddish purple leaves, just totally fun. I actually have 2 of this variety over there in the shade garden, and they're just gorgeous. And look at all those sweet little baby leaves, and they've got these kind of fuzzy fun stems to them. So we'll put these 3 kind of reddish colors together. That coral bell, we've got the rose of Sharon. Then I picked up this grass, plenty large enough to be able to split this in 2. So I'll actually get 2 plants out of this grass. I don't know if this one had tag. Oh, okay. Ribbon grass. She have some of this over in the middle garden, but it has a slightly pink accent. This one is just green and white, which I think is just really pretty. And Hannah, my friend, is going to laugh at me because she knows that I just in general don't really like grasses. But I just saw this one and I thought, Emma, it's time to expand your horizons. Get some grass. So we'll pop that into 2 and split it and put it somewhere right here. That's the hardy geranium, which will need to move forward, probably somewhere in this area by my feet. And then that peony right there is going to just get shrouded by this plant. So we'll just pop that up somewhere in this zone. And then over here, last one, I just planted one of these over by the chicken run, and this is an Arctic Fire Red Dogwood. So this stays relatively compact, 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. It's already a pretty good size, and it's just, the stems are going to be so pretty to add that bright red. And it'll just kind of hang out in this corner and fill that little spot. And I'm just loving how this is looking. And I did rake out a whole bunch of my mulch to kind of come up where the tree was, because I had like 6 to 8 inches. So I brought it down to like 3 to 4 inches of mulch, spread it all out. And then I added all this. Obviously they're not the exact same color, but I will blend them over time as I acquire more mulch. Because this is mostly hemlock and alder tree mulch that I had with a chipper. And so I'll use that mixed with the red cedar mulch that I gathered from local area. And we'll just kind of slowly over time blend them together, and it will look like it's all the same. And I'll also gather more to kind of fill in this spot. But for right now, my project today was, now that I've got kind of the whole layout and where I want things to go, I want to get a couple of these in the ground, and I want to get the peony and the geranium moved forward so that they don't get forgotten about and buried back there. So let's get to work. Accidentally sliced part of my fingernail off. It's not bleeding that bad though. Whoops. I think I'm ready now to transplant the geranium. And I'm a little worried about transplanting the peony, but I think I should just rip off the band-aid and get it done. I'm loving it. So this is the Arctic Fire Red Dogwood. We split our grass into 2. We've got the Heuchera and the Pandora. We've got the Rose of Sharon, coral bells. That's the peony. I don't remember what variety. We're going to pop it up maybe right here, actually. And then the geranium will pop up maybe right here so that it kind of contrasts that deep red color, because that's a nice bright colored leaf. So the backdrop to this, I don't know if you can see this little string, but this is kind of my makeshift guide-ish to the property line, or as close to our property line as I can get. So you can see kind of it weaves around this tree barrier between ours and our neighbor's house. So I'm really trying to respect that boundary as much as I can, although this is like a natural slope and we've got all these trees here, so it's a little bit hard to judge. But this is a forsythia. Now these get like 8 to 12 feet tall and wide. It's gonna be a big shrub and it's gonna fill in this entire big spot back here, which I'm really excited about. And then I transplanted 2 rhodies. I think these are white or like a creamy colored white, but I just honestly can't remember because I transplanted them while they were not in bloom. So we'll have to see once the one on the other side of my property, way over there where I got it from, what it ends up looking like. So we've got 2 rhodies, which I'll let get nice and big. I'll probably kind of trim them up into tree form. So they'll kind of come in here. We've got lots of tree stumps from the trees we cut back. So those will just kind of be scattered throughout this garden bed area. This guy we're going to move. Another rhodie. I used to have a peony in here somewhere, but I don't know where it is right now because I think a deer ate it. Something ate it. Oh, wait. Oh my God, you guys. We should transplant this thing before it gets stepped on. This is a peony. Look at that. We'll move that. And then we've got our 3 limelight hydrangea bushes, which I had to put some slug away stuff on it because I was getting these little tiny bite marks, just destroying my beautiful leaf canopy. It even got that one too. But I'm thinking these will get 6 to 8 feet. So we'll have these nice big bushes kind of creating like a really pretty barrier. These were some lily bulbs that I planted in there, but I think they shouldn't bloom this year because we just planted them this spring. But I think I'll probably pop those up and move those forward as well. This is a random shrub, which is probably dead, but I'm just going to leave it there just to kind of see what happens. And then I was supposed to have a thimbleberry back in here, but I don't know if it actually made it. This is a salmonberry weed, which die. Now that we've got all the new stuff planted and in the spots that we want it, we can now arrange the rest of the stuff that was already here that just needs to be moved. So I'm going to transplant those 2 peonies, move them up to the front so that they're visible. And I'm going to grab that geranium. Maybe I'll even grab the lily bulbs because they're not going to bloom this year anyway, so might as well move them while we can. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so we finished up our project here. Obviously, there's a couple bits and then that trunk over there that still needs some mulch and bark and stuff, but overall, I'm really happy with it. I moved up a bunch of the ajuga, and we've got the hardy geranium we moved up, we've got the lilies we moved up, and then we planted all the rest of these things in this space. And I was stealing some mulch from down there that it's kind of sloped down, pushed it up, used it in this space. I got a few more shovelfuls, and then I'll just kind of go gather some more to fill in that spot. But you guys, I'm so happy with how it turned out. It will look really good once I kind of merge all the mulch together and have it not look such like a stark difference. But just this red stemmed plant underneath this beautiful tree. We've got our grasses, our flowers. I am just so excited. It looks so good. And I did forget about that one peony. I will grab that. But I'm just so excited to share this project with you guys. I think it's going to be such a great addition and change to the landscape. So much less mowing, so much less risky, kind of like mowing down a slope. It's just great. And it'll kind of change over time once this tree, my grandpa's memorial tree, grows up, kind of shades this space. Once those hydrangeas and the rhododendrons and the forsythia kind of fill in and give us like a really nice privacy wall in the back, I just think plopping some more flowers in here over the course of time will be perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to do more planting in this space, in this garden bed over the course of the next couple months and years. So thanks for watching. We'll see you later.